You can either draw inspiration from or succumb to adverse situations in your life. The choice is yours. Hi, this is Vasudevan, author of Follow Your Heart, Your Brain is Stupid. This channel is dedicated to those who wish to take charge and to create for themselves a life of freedom, joy, and happiness. This episode is about how Dr. Jenny drew inspiration from the loss of her parents and a few other close relatives to pursue medicine and to qualify as a double MD, which is very, very rare. This is a truly inspiring story, so watch till the very end. Let's jump right into the show. Hi, Jenny. Welcome
Hi.
to my chat show, and thanks for taking time off and accepting my invitation. It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Viewers, we have a very, very special guest today. She's a doctor by profession and not a normal doctor. She's got a double MD. She's an MD in pediatrics and also an MD in internal medicine. A double MD is very, very rare. So it's going to be a very, very interesting episode. So stay tuned till the very end. Dr. Jenny had some personal experiences which inspired her to help cure people of chronic diseases like diabetes, arthritis, blood pressure, etc., through the principles of lifestyle medicines. Now, what is lifestyle medicine? I'm going to leave it to her to explain to you guys, okay? Dr. Jenny is an American citizen, and a few years ago, she decided to move to India. After a fantastic life in the US, she decided to move to India along with her two small kids and her husband, Ajay Prabhu, who I had featured some time ago in this chat show. Together with Ajay, she has set up a very successful startup, and they also have set up multiple clinics in Mumbai where people can go and get themselves treated. The name of that startup is Cersei. Am I pronouncing it correctly, Jenny?
Yes, correct.
Cersei
Yes.
Health. Yep, and I will share the details, and in case any of you guys want to consult them, you can do that in the description of my channel. Okay, Jenny, we are all eagerly waiting to listen to your story and draw inspiration from that. Over to you.
Oh, so yes, thank you again for having me. I guess, where should I start? So yeah, I mean, my husband and I have now been married for 13 years. And even before we were married, the two of us would visit India at least once a year, usually, to visit his family. And I fell in love with the people and the culture and the food, of course. So I had always told him someday I would love to live here. It was almost like finding, I guess, my second home and always wanting to go back. And I couldn't really explain it. Ajoy tells me I must have been Indian in a previous life, and maybe that's why. But so during medical school and residency, I was lucky enough to be able to spend about a month to 6 weeks at a time twice in Bangalore doing medicine. So once was in a hospital and once was in an OPD private clinic. And I definitely, I saw huge differences between medicine in India and the US, but very positive things, I could go on. But Indians certainly have more respect for doctors than the majority of Americans, which I appreciated. They listen to your advice and really take it to heart. So I said, wow, maybe someday I could actually be a doctor in India. So that's, I guess, where the kind of planted a seed in my mind. And then we had our two children. They're now two boys, ages 10 and 6. So when they were younger, especially after the little one was born, there was some, to make a long story short, kind of political changes in the US. The US became a little more unsafe in general, more gun violence, more racism. So even more reason that we decided to to come over to India and try it out. Wanted to practice better medicine here, wanted our kids to have more experience with their own Indian culture. I was keen on better weather also. I'm not a fan of the cold, so Mumbai was a good choice, I think. So those are kind of the main reasons, less stress, more family, more of a community here. In the US, of course has very positive things too, but it's a lot more individual and sometimes more isolated. Here, there's always people willing to help. So we were one of the motivations to come here. So that's where we are now.
Okay. You had mentioned to me there were some challenges you faced in your life that really inspired you to become a physician. So if you can share what were those challenges, that will be of interest to our viewers also.
Yeah, sure. So there were two, I guess, main kind of turning points in my life, I suppose. When I was growing up, I was always interested in science. My father was a microbiologist, a PhD microbiologist, and I used to go to his laboratory all the time and learn about everything that he did at work. So that's where I became interested in science. And however, if you had asked, 9-year-old Jenny, I would have told you I wanted to be more like an animal scientist, so a veterinarian or a marine biologist. But then unfortunately, when I was 15, my father was diagnosed with, it ended up being end-stage pancreatic cancer. He had no risk factors, just an unfortunate fluke, and he passed away rather quickly. So before the doctors diagnosed what he had, ultimately, there is a maybe 4 or 5 day period where nobody knew why he was so sick. So at the time, along with his doctors, I ended up reading a lot of medical books trying to figure out what was wrong with him myself. So that kind of research I did, and also just seeing how much he suffered and wanting to prevent that for him, for other patients maybe, inspired me to be a human doctor instead of a veterinarian or an animal doctor. I just remembered, although it was horrible, of course, at the time, losing my father, who was my role model, but it also, it really inspired me to want to help other people, so other family members didn't have to lose their parent or their husband at such a young age. So that was my, again, still to this day, he's an inspiration to me.
This was what I understand prompted you to become a physician and pursue medicine, right?
Yeah. And then I guess, sorry, I mentioned too, so the second thing was my mother, when I was 33 and she was 62, also became ill and ended up passing away within a year. So also relatively quickly. She was diagnosed with liver failure, cirrhosis, was not an alcoholic or have any other reason to have cirrhosis. So eventually she was actually, after she passed away, was diagnosed with something called alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency, which is a genetic condition. And so without going into the science of it, it's inherited. So her older brother also ended up passing away from the same thing about 2 years after that. So seeing both of them suffer, liver disease is a horrible chronic way to suffer. There's lots of complications that come with it. I had myself tested, and unfortunately, I also carry that gene. So I, knock on wood, for now, I am not exhibiting any of the symptoms. My liver tests are normal. The same genetic condition can cause pulmonary or lung issues, which also, knock on wood, I don't have. So I spoke to my doctors at that time, and they both suggested lifestyle changes to hopefully prevent this from progressing and turning into what my mother and my uncle experienced later in life. And at that time, I had heard a little bit about lifestyle medicine, but didn't know much about it. So that's kind of what inspired me to look into it. And along with my husband, we both kind of researched what is lifestyle medicine. And have applied it to ourselves. So to simplify it, it's basically, instead of taking pills or taking injections, you change how you live your life. So you eat more healthy, you try to have a mostly plant-based, less processed diet. You exercise more, especially cardiovascular exercise. Sometimes you can incorporate fasting. So I fast almost every day, and that's particularly good for liver health. Try to have a bigger social circle, meditation, volunteering, that sort of thing. So it's amazing. There's so much research that this type of thing that seems trivial can actually prevent genetic diseases from happening, or it can cure other diseases like you mentioned, diabetes, thyroid conditions, cholesterol, even something like arthritis. Things that usually don't have much of a treatment can be helped or gotten rid of by lifestyle medicine. So my mom's and my uncle's deaths inspired, I guess, trying to figure out how I could prevent it from happening to me, and other relatives inspired me to change the way I live my everyday life, and it's been good so far. Hopefully, it stays that way.
Yeah, of course. As people say that any of these medicines, typically it may suppress that particular disease, but it'll start something else. It'll affect some other organ and all that. That always happens. So I also too believe that our body is designed to fight any disease, provided we take care. Now, if we abuse our body through wrong practices, wrong intake of food, it weakens the body and its ability to fight those diseases. And that's where I think the approach to treating people with any of these diseases is different from the typical allopathic or any other forms of medicine, where you put in you take tablets and try to suppress that and try to cure that, and after some years something else happens because of that, right? Yeah,
that's the problem. I mean, so of course there is a role for allopathic medicine in some cases, but most things, so a lot of times what we'll do is if someone comes in with an illness or a chronic condition, we will continue their allopathic medicine, but also start lifestyle changes. And then most times we can take them off that medicine. So again, you asked me, I don't know, 10 years ago, what we learn in medical school is once a person is on, for example, blood pressure medicine, they'll never come off of it. But that's actually not true. We've taken many people off blood pressure medicine permanently. So it gives hope to people. And it's nice that you're correct. I mean, you take one pill and then you have a side effect, so you have to take another pill to get rid of the side effect from the other pill, and it becomes like a vicious cycle.
Yeah, in fact, that's what of late what I've seen, and especially in the West, this is more true. Here, at least in India, it's not as much, but here also we are catching up on that attitude. My wife had gone for an eye test, okay, and the doctor said, "Oh, you are above 40. You have to put these lenses." They link it to an age. Now, at that age, you have to start taking these medicines. In fact, this is the same experience we had with my father-in-law. He's there in the US. My brother-in-law is there, settled there for many, probably over 25 years now. And the approach is that you have to take these medicines and all. And they put you on to medicines. As a result, the body is not able to fight it. It forgets it. It's all the medicines are taking care. That's something I find it very, very odd. Now, of late, he has stopped all medicines. Every medicine he has stopped. In fact, that day when we spoke with him over the video call, we all were surprised. He's looking very fresh. And we asked him, how come you're so happy to see you so fresh? He said, yeah, I've stopped taking any medicine. Now he's probably 80 plus, right? 85 plus, yeah. And looking mentally he's fit, physically he's able to do. In fact, in India, where what we do is we do that namaskar. We prostrate, right? He used to do about 20-25 times every day, right? Perfectly okay. And then the doctor said, no, you should not do this. It's not good for you. You should avoid. Now what happened now? He stopped doing it. Now he's not able to do it. Now he's not able to do it. He's got out of it. And when he was doing it, he was perfectly okay. Body is designed to take care. I don't understand why people do it. And at least we are not that. We don't believe that. We always take good, healthy food, do whatever you want, and don't worry about age. Age is as they say.
Age is a number.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very.
Yeah, that's great. So how many clinics do you have in Mumbai right now?
Right now we have almost 2. We had 3, but we've shifted the second one to this other one that is coming up down in Kemp's Corner. It should be open soon.
Okay.
And we're going to expand further in the near future.
So how's the response has been good? I suppose so.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think our biggest hurdle in India, for example, is telling people that dairy is not necessarily your friend. And India is, I think, the largest consumer of dairy in the world because, you know, so much milk and cheese, paneer, dahi, all of that. So that's been a little difficult to get across to people, understandably. And even not just in India, everywhere. I mean, as I'm half pediatrician and we are taught in medical school, you have to encourage children to drink milk all the time. Milk does a body good. So it's kind of unlearning some of these traditional teachings ourselves and then just trying to tell that to our patients. Also, lifestyle medicine is not an instant fix. So you have to be patient. Pills will make you feel better instantly, although they come with their side effects, but lifestyle medicine changes take a couple of weeks to start feeling better, kind of like Ayurveda, but the changes are long lasting. And again, you're not going to have side effects. You're not going to have like a rash or stomach upset or anything by doing lifestyle medicine changes. So just trying to get that across to people that be patient, just be consistent, and you'll see good changes.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm sure you will be feeling extremely happy that inspiration led you to do this. And nothing like being able to help people, whether it's mental, whether it is physical or health, whatever it is, that's a different sort of an experience that one has. There's nothing can replace that. Money and all is all secondary, right?
Yeah. Seeing patients feeling better, kids and adults, is our reward. It's great.
Yeah. In fact, Ajay in his chat, he said, now I'm working with Jenny and now I'm interacting with patients and I'm feeling much better. That's a great feeling, right?
A great
Jenny,
reward, yeah.
My question is, you've been in the US, you are a US citizen, and you did share why you moved to India. But what has been your experience? How have things worked out, and how happy are you?
I'm very happy. The first year was difficult because we moved during the COVID pandemic. So that was, it was difficult for everybody then, but we were very forcefully, because of the pandemic, we were kind of isolated and we couldn't meet people. So that was a little difficult. Now, obviously, things are much better. It's just nice to have, family close by, friends close by. Everyone's always willing to help. No matter what, they'll drop everything and come help. Like, for example, if one of us is not around and the kids are sick, they'll say, please send them over, we'll come over and help them. And that does happen in the US too, but here I think everything's just a little more closer knit. So that's a great advantage. And things are, in the US, I think Ajoy mentioned this in his video too, the US, there's just a higher level of stress in general, trying to get things done to meet a deadline and following very specific rules. Here, everything's kind of, I've picked up the phrase Aram say, everything's a little more laid back, which has good and bad things. I mean, getting things done here take longer. So that's something we've had to, even Ajoy, who I guess doesn't remember from when he was here a long time ago, both of us have had to adjust that, it's when something will be done, like for example, our clinic, when it will be done for, says that it will be done on this date, that actually means like 2 months later. So that's been an adjustment, but things are done well. Of course, I'm happy with the climate and my favorite food, and happy to see lots of plant-based options that have even popped up in the 3 years that we've been here. So eating healthy has been easy here as well. Our children's school is excellent, and that's been one of the best things about moving here. They love their school, they're learning a lot, and amazing teachers, and different activities, which again in the US is you have to drive everywhere and take the kids to different activities, but here it's either at school or in our building, so a lot more convenient. And then of course practicing medicine I think is more pleasant here. I don't have to deal with insurance companies so much, filling out paperwork. That's basically in the US, although I miss my previous practice and I miss doing that, I do not miss all the paperwork and yelling at insurance companies over the phone all the time. That's what half my day is. Here I don't have to do that, which is good.
Right. Welcome to India, though it's after many years I'm saying it, we are so happy to have you with us. The hospitality that you get in India, you will not get it anywhere,
Nowhere else.
Nowhere
Agree.
else. Not possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Indian hospitality is the best anywhere, and we've traveled so many places, but nothing is like coming back here. It's absolutely true.
Yeah. So Jenny, this decision to come to India and start up and settle down here with the kids, was this a decision taken with your brain or with your heart?
Mostly with our hearts, I think, because maybe it's been a little challenging. Again, COVID, we didn't take that into account, having to deal with a global pandemic. But I think if we had used our brains, maybe at that point, we would have put it off for another year or two. But despite that, despite a pandemic starting, when we tried to move here, we knew we needed to be here. So in our hearts, so that's why we kind of pushed through. We actually, I don't know if Ajoy mentioned this, in the transition of trying to get here during the pandemic, we stayed in 14 Airbnbs over 7 months.
Wow.
So it was a journey. And definitely, I think most people would have given up, but we said, no, we need to be here. So we eventually made it. It was definitely a decision from the heart, but as things improve, as we get more used to being here and our company and practice is coming together, we know we made the right decision.
Right. And possibly, if you're not taking the decision at that point of time and you had used your brain more, you may not even have come here, and India would have missed your you being here, right? It's possible.
And we would have missed being here. No, but you're absolutely right. I think what we did is we committed to a date, again, before we knew about the pandemic, but we still did it. And we sold our cars, we sold our house, we both quit our jobs. So we knew we couldn't go back.
Right.
And that was like our commitment that way. But I think using logic, maybe we wouldn't have come at the time. So
in fact, that's right. You're right. When you use logic, very often we are not able to move ahead with something which is our true calling, right? That happens. So many things we want to do, but when we use our brain, which predominantly is use logic, you can't even move forward. You'll not take those decisions, right? Most of the time, in fact, if you introspect, the decision that you have taken with your heart will be the right decisions rather than the decisions which you took or you did not take when you use your brain a lot. And that's what I try. Even in my book, I've said that it's the title of the book is "Follow Your Heart, Your Brain is Stupid." So
I like that.
Yeah. So good. Jenny, what are some key messages that you would like to leave with our viewers?
I guess two things. The first one you just said, follow your heart. It may be difficult, but if you persevere and you really aim towards that goal, kind of like lifestyle medicine, slowly, you'll see positive changes. It'll take some time, but the end result is long lasting. So,
right.
Follow your heart, even though your brain might tell you you're crazy, it does end up in the correct place eventually. And then the second thing is, if you have challenges in your life that seem like tragedies at the time, try to push through, because a lot of times negative events can end up having a big positive impact on your life. So losing, of course, it was horrible losing both my parents at a young age, but their individual deaths inspired me to be who I am today. So, if I could take them back, I would, obviously, but it's not the end of the world when something terrible happens. You can spin it in a positive direction. So try to think about that as well. Keep that in mind.
Right. Thanks. Yeah, this is wonderful. And this happens with many of us. Life will not be perfect all the time, right? We will face such situations in life. Your success, how you convert that, it could be a calamity, it could be a sad thing like losing parents, etc. How do you convert that and take inspiration from it rather than feel bad about it and not do anything about it? The learning that I personally got from you, Jenny, is anything that happens in life, ultimately think it always happens for the good, and that's one that will keep you going. And that's what helped you, and it has helped me also in some situations where at that point when it happens you feel, why did it happen to me? Why did it what did I do wrong that I deserve this? But when you leverage that whatever happened and pursue and follow your inspiration, that will be the best thing that one can do. And that's the biggest learning from you, Jenny. Thanks a lot. Viewers, if you got some value from this episode, do like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and please post your comments. What did you like, or what else you would like me to feature in this channel? Okay, Jenny, thanks a lot once again for your time. It was a wonderful episode. I enjoyed talking to you, and I will definitely call up Ajay and tell him thanks, because it was he who suggested that instead of me, you should definitely feature Jenny in your chat show. So that's how I reached out to you. Okay, thanks a lot for your time. It was a great experience. Viewers, with that, let me close the episode and see you in the next. Thank you, Jenny, once again. Bye bye.
Bye.